Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know, before you start crucifying me, I know that the number one question on your mind is why Luxembourg? I have actually never mentioned Luxembourg before on this channel, and all of a sudden I'm coming up to tell you to apply for a job in Luxembourg. Yes, we're going to answer that question and we would have a discussion to see if Luxembourg is actually a good fit for you. So sit back, relax, and let's dive quickly into the discussion. If you're new to this channel, you're welcome. My name is Zuri, and on this channel, we talk about mostly travel, visa tips, and immigration tips, as well as once in a while foreign opportunities for you. Now, in this video, I'm going to cover why Luxembourg is a great place to find a job. We will talk about the 10 most in-demand jobs, and if there is time, we will talk about how to position your CV or how to structure your CV the Luxembourg way in order to position yourself for Luxembourg jobs. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay updated with all things travel, immigration, and international opportunities. So let's get right into it. First of all, why Luxembourg, right? There is one obvious answer, which I know that many of you know, and that is the fact that Luxembourg is a Schengen country. Does that ring a bell? Yes, Luxembourg is a Schengen country, and what that means is that if you have access to Luxembourg as a Schengen country, you also have access to the other Schengen countries, okay? So that is one major advantage of being and working in Luxembourg. Now let's talk about, I have my laptop here, and we're going to talk about the other reasons why Luxembourg is obviously a good choice, okay, when you're thinking about what international country to work in. All right. So the first thing I wrote here is that Luxembourg is a wealthy country. Luxembourg is one of the richest countries in the world with a high GDP per capita. If you're thinking that your salary is going to be consumed by tax, that is not going to happen because the taxes are considerably low when you compare them to some other countries, even some other Schengen countries. So the second thing I wrote down here is that Luxembourg has a high standard of living. The quality of life in Luxembourg is excellent. The healthcare is top-notch, the education and the public services are also excellent. So you don't have to worry about that aspect, okay? Now, the third point I wrote down here is the minimum wage. I know you're worried about salaries. That's one of the major things that we are worried about when it comes to working in a foreign country, but you don't have so much to worry about. Luxembourg offers a high minimum wage, providing a high standard of living for its residents. Luxembourg has some of the lowest tax rates in Europe, and in turn, this attracts a lot of multinational companies, which means more and more job offers. The final point that I wrote down here is the location of Luxembourg, okay? Luxembourg is located in the heart of Europe, which gives easy access to other European countries, and it's an ideal destination and location for travel enthusiasts. So why wouldn't you love Luxembourg? Now, let's quickly go ahead to talk about the 10 in-demand jobs in Luxembourg at the moment, and then we can see if you fall into any of these, all right? So we're going to talk about the job, we're going to talk about the role of the job, and then we will talk about the annual salary, okay? Now, the first one I wrote down here is financial analyst. All right, and the role of a financial analyst basically is to analyze financial data to guide investment decisions. Now, if you're a financial analyst, then it means that you have a chance to work in Luxembourg, and the annual salary is between 60,000 to 80,000 euros. Now let's go to the next one, which is the software engineer. Yes, software engineers are needed not just in Luxembourg, but in several countries around the world. The role of a software engineer is to develop and design software applications. So if you have knowledge in software engineering, then this is for you and you should totally grab this opportunity. The annual salary of a software engineer in Luxembourg is about 70,000 to 90,000 euros. Now let's look at number 3. The third job here is a data scientist, okay? Basically, data scientists are meant to analyze and interpret complex data sets, okay? And their salary is between 75,000 to 95,000 euros. So if you are a data scientist, what exactly are you still doing here? You need to apply to Luxembourg. Now, I know some of you are thinking, okay, how do I apply? Where do I start from? I have a video where I talked about the top 10 recruitment companies in Luxembourg. I'm going to link it in the description below. So please check it out when you're done with the top 10 in-demand jobs. Now, number 4 is project manager. Yes, somebody said that no matter how much AI infiltrates the society, one role that you would always need the human touch is in project management. Okay, basically a project manager manages projects and coordinates teams. That is what a project manager does to make sure that a plan or a project is executed. And so if you're a project manager or you have a degree in project management, you are needed in Luxembourg. Okay, now let's check out the salary of a project manager. It is between 65,000 to 85,000 euros annually. I did not say monthly. Oh. I know some of you are wondering, what language would I need to speak? It's either you understand Luxembourgish, or you understand English, or you understand French. Now we're going to get to that, okay? But for most of these jobs, English is still very, very fine. But if I were you, I would try to study a second language so that I can have an edge. Okay, now let's go ahead to the next role I wrote down here, and it is a compliance officer. Basically, a compliance officer ensures that a company complies with laws and regulations. Okay, that is the major job of a compliance officer. And the job actually promises an annual salary of 60,000 to 80,000 euros. Okay, for a compliance officer. So if you're a compliance officer, I don't know why you're still sitting down. Okay, you should be applying to Luxembourg. All right, now number 6, I wrote here marketing specialist. Now the role is to develop and implement marketing strategies. Okay, you have to be a professional in that field basically. And the salary range, the annual salary is between 55,000 to 75,000 euros. So if you're a marketing specialist or you have a degree in that profession, then you stand a chance because it is one of the in-demand jobs in Luxembourg. Now let's go on to number 7. Number 7 is a civil engineer. Basically, a civil engineer is in charge of designing and overseeing construction projects, and their annual salary is between 70,000 to 90,000 euros. So if you're a civil engineer, you might consider applying to companies in Luxembourg. They might just be looking for you. Now let's move on to number 8. And number 8, I discovered healthcare professional. Now, a healthcare professional is not just needed in Luxembourg, they are needed in several other countries, all right? But it is also one of the most in-demand jobs in Luxembourg, and I would totally advise that you apply for this job. If you are a caregiver, if you're an assistant nurse, or if you're a doctor, you need to apply for this opportunity. Now, basically, they provide medical care and treatment, and their annual salaries range between 55 to 85,000 euros. So if you're a caregiver, you're a nurse, you're a doctor, then this opportunity is for you. Now, the next one I wrote down here is human resources specialist. The role of a human resource specialist is to manage employee relations and recruitment. And their job offers them an annual salary of between 50,000 to 70,000 euros. So if you are a HR specialist, then you could grab this opportunity. Now let's move on to number 10, last but not the least. Customer service representative. Okay, for customer service representative, it would be nice if you understood more than just English. Okay, maybe if you understood English and Luxembourgish, that would be nice. The annual salary is between 40,000 to 60,000 euros, and basically a customer service representative handles customer inquiries and support. So if you know that you're very good as a customer service representative, then you should totally apply to companies in Luxembourg. I said it before that in order to get noticed by employers and in order to have an edge over other people who have applied, your CV has to be top notch. Your CV has to be structured in the Luxembourg way. Okay, you can't just carry Nigerian CV and say you want to apply to Luxembourg. No, you have to sit down and structure your CV how they want your CV to be structured. I'm going to mention the few things that your CV should have, okay? Now, the first one is your header. The header should include your name, your contact details, and your LinkedIn profile. The next thing that your CV is meant to contain is a professional summary. A professional summary basically is a brief paragraph summarizing your skills and experiences. Okay, yes, you're going to give details, but then that professional summary is really good because it gives a glimpse into who you really are. Okay, so it's going to be summarizing your skills and your experiences. Now, the next is your work experience. Okay, of course, we all know what your work experience is. You're going to start from your most recent job. You're going to talk about your key responsibilities, and you need to talk about the dates that you worked in these places. All right, the next item that your CV should have is your education. You're meant to include your highest degree, your university, and your graduation dates. Okay, so please take note of that. Now, the next one is you're meant to include your skills in your CV. I know that a lot of people might overlook this because they're like, okay, from my experience and my key responsibilities, you should know what my skills are, right? Not necessarily. You are meant to also include your skills because it is very important that you highlight the relevant skills for the particular job that you're applying for. Remember, there are jobs that need some set of skills, okay? So you're meant to actually highlight those skills that are relevant to that job that you're applying for. And that's why you see some people actually update their CVs when they're applying for different job roles because they want those particular skills for that job role to be highlighted. It's very, very important. Now, the next thing that you're meant to include on your CV is your languages. Okay, I mentioned that if you speak Luxembourgish, if you speak English, if you speak German, whichever one you speak, if you speak all of them, you should include them there, okay, because it would really, really help. And if you speak more than one of these languages, it will help to give you an edge. Now, the last one that I wrote down here is your references, okay? Now, you can mention that your references are available upon request. If you want us to assist you to structure your CV the Luxembourg way, you can send an email to the email in the description below, and then we will see what we can do about it, okay? We'll see how we can assist you to structure your CV because I am really, really rooting for you. So that's a wrap on our guide to the top 10 in-demand jobs in Luxembourg. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and please share with somebody that you think might be interested or have the skills for the jobs that we mentioned. Good luck with your job hunting, and I'll see you in another video.